The reason music is so different than everything else that you'll probably wind up doing in your life is because music is alive. Music makes us feel so much that it has to be alive. Also, there's no black and white truth to music. There's no objective reality. Because of that, it's a constantly changing, moving, morphing thing that when it aligns with your taste, you love it. Now, your taste is also constantly changing, morphing, growing because we are alive. So once you get music being alive and us being alive, you basically have a moving target that you're trying to catch when you're creating music, and in a way where you like what's happening with it. In other words, where you like the end product, you are basically chasing a moving target. And you are constantly changing, so every time you think you almost grab it, you don't. This is a big reason why people will mix a song forever. They keep doing it, keep changing it, because they can't line it up with their taste in that moment. But I'm here to tell you, just because you don't like something today doesn't mean you won't like it tomorrow. That's what happens. You could hate it today, like it tomorrow. You could love it today, hate it tomorrow. There's never going to be a road sign that says this is what it will be. As soon as you reach this point, you will like it forever. It's not how it works. So I think people are under this false assumption that if they get something where they like it, they will always like it. All they've managed to do is appease their taste in that moment. That's why, me personally, I've gotten done with songs where I liked it and then I would hate it later. Like I talked about this before, but when I used to have people mixing for me, I used to make revisions and changes on the mix until I ruined it and then be like, perfect, I love it. Then a year later or a couple months later, I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I keep telling them to make the vocals louder? Now the vocals are too loud. It's a very common thing for people where they ruin their own stuff trying to catch this moving target. So I want to put it out. I want to put out there a few things. Number one, this is also why I don't like making videos about what is better or worse on any given product, like comparing something to something else. Because I know after all these years, I'm very well aware that my tastes change and my ears develop. And over time, my opinions will change. So by saying something's better than something else, I'm not leaving room for the understanding that I've grown to know, which is that's only in the moment. That's only in the moment. And so many people who go about music in a scientific way are doing it all wrong. And if you are looking for those videos that prove this is better than that, or this makes sense and this doesn't, or there's no difference in summing and there's no difference in this, anybody who's looking for that stuff, you're just trying to prove some personal bias that you have. That's why blind tests are so critical and so important, because as soon as you eliminate the personal bias, a lot of times that's where you get to the reality, if there is any, of how you really feel. But again, it's only in a given moment, in a given point in time, based on everything that's around you. That's so many variables, it's very hard to quantify. Like your speaker setup, how far away they are, exactly their positioning, what the desk it's on, how many reflections are in the room, whether you have a ceiling cloud, whether you have there's so many things that are going to go into how you're hearing, including your mood, how hungry you are, whether you're sad or happy, whether you heard something you liked before this or not. I could go on and on. The point is, everything adds up to your opinion. No matter what, it's just your opinion. And all people prove when they prove something is good or bad or works or doesn't or better or worse, all they're really proving is based on their setup and all their variables. It did something for them at that moment. So that's really why I don't like doing that. I think you could go out and do your own tests, but even on my own tests, when I do this on my own stuff, if I don't do a blind test, my ears, no matter what, no matter how much I think I'm not biased, I will pick something based on something because I know the difference, because I know what costs more, because I know what, like, even if it's just the color of the track, I'll pick the one I like the color better. Now, this is very, like, we try to eliminate it, but it's there. You could choose to ignore it, but you're ignoring the truth that we all have some personal bias that goes into our decision making. So if you're going to compare things, you must do a blind test. That said, also realize that Your taste is a fleeting, changing thing. So don't work on stuff forever thinking at some point you'll get to some objective truth, because you never will. You'll never get to a point where you love it so much that you'll love it the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day, because you're trying to predict where you will go, how your ears will grow, how you will change, how your opinions will change, how your taste will change. You're trying to predict all that. And that's why you can't get done with your stuff. That's why you're sitting there thinking, subconsciously, you actually know all this. You're going to change. You know you won't like it tomorrow, so you can't ever get done. You're looking for that magic moment that makes you done. But I'm here to tell you, all you can achieve is a relative point that you like something, and that when you hear it back, it makes you feel something. That's the best you should aim for. Don't look for perfection. Don't look for loving it forever. And don't make something, think it's great, then wait a week, listen again, then wait 2 weeks, make more changes, then wait 6 months, make more changes. Don't do this, because you are constantly growing, changing, and your mood, your everything changes every time you hear it. So just because you like it one day doesn't mean you're going to like it the next. And that shouldn't hold up what you're doing. That shouldn't put you in a position where you can't get things done because of this uncertainty of, I need to find the truth. You're looking for something that doesn't exist. There is no truth. There's no right. There's no wrong. That's why it's really a hard pill for people to swallow. I can't tell you how many times, me personally, I've liked something one day and hated it the next. Or vice versa. I've hated it one day and then liked it the next. So knowing this about ourselves, what we should realize is all we have when we're making decisions is that given day. And that's scary for a lot of people, because they're putting themselves on the line. They're basically saying, I'm a living, breathing, growing thing. And on this day, everything culminated to me making these decisions. And now this is the product of my decisions. Now I am done with it, and I'm going to release it knowing full well that I might not like it tomorrow or the day after or the day after that. It's a very scary thing for people, but that's why music is so difficult. The biggest part of music, the biggest thing, in my opinion, that's helpful about music is that you can use it to show you who you were, like a photo album, like a bunch of pictures, a bunch of reflections. You figure out how good you are over time when you keep putting yourself under that pressure and those tests of how good am I today, and it keeps adding up to something that is something you actually like throughout time. But it doesn't mean that it will always be. There's some things you will hate, some things you will like, but my point is, enough things get done, and then you actually can judge how you are and what your opinions are and how much your opinion will stick later. You can't ever judge that if you only do a couple things. So many people get caught in this trap and never do enough to actually get to a point where they improve enough where that consistency develops. That's a huge thing. So it took me years to get to the point of understanding this. And until then, I took way too long on everything. And not only did I take way too long, it didn't get me anywhere. I never got to a point where I could get to that objective truth that meant to me, okay, now I've reached this place I've been searching for. Finally. Now I'll be happy forever. It doesn't work that way. It never happened that way for me. So I'm just here to tell you that if I could save anybody even a day, it makes me feel good. We're dealing with a living, breathing thing. And anytime you're dealing with that, you get a lot from it, because we get this reward of amazing emotional fulfillment. A lot of us chose our life, our path, for what we will do with the life we've been blessed with. We chose that to be connected to music because of what we get from it, the feelings, the emotions. Nothing that's not alive can give you that feeling. It's way more than a career, a job. It's nothing like that. It's alive. And so are you. And just as each one of us are completely different human beings, so is our taste on any given moment. So is every single thing each one of us will create, if we get there and actually create which means finishing it. So I'm curious what you guys think. Throw something in the comment. This obviously means a lot to me. I appreciate it. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm really curious what you guys think. Talk to you guys soon. Evan Jaffe, Custom Cut Studios. You guys got this. Take it easy.